Hey, what's up, everyone? You're currently tuned into TBD on the live stream or on KCSB FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara and netnetradio.com out of Tijuana. I'm joined by my new friend Angel from Lobsterfight out of Pueblo, Colorado. How have you been doing, Angel?
I've been doing fantastic. How about you?
Dude, I've just been chilling as well. I guess give me the lowdown. What have you been up to since like the pandemic started musically? How do you like virtual gigs? Just
Uh,
tell me what you've been up to.
Recently I've just been doing a lot of school. I've not graduated at all, so I just recently just been a lot of school. I've been working on a brand new album that'll be out some point this year.
Oh, hell yeah.
Uh, Pandemic wise, I've always kind of been like I've always like stayed inside. I mean, it's hasn't affected my life like tremendously,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, not being able to see your friend, not being able to like, go into a Taco Bell and like sit down and eat
Yeah,
has been
exactly.
yeah, that's been an experience. And yeah, it's just kind of all I've been really keeping up with.
I guess speaking of virtual gigs, did you hear that snowing? I guess snowing just announced today they're gonna
Yeah,
be streaming Warzone.
yeah, I follow them like on my personal account, and I follow
Yeah,
them like it's like they're streaming Call of Duty, like Algernon and like snowing. I'm like, yeah, but like, Ape Up and like Boy Problem, like most people don't even know who those people are.
dude, Ape Up
Like
is
only
tight, dude. Hell yeah. I'm
Yeah,
glad that you
like
know them.
most
Yeah,
yeah, most people who are like kind of like deeper into like Midwest emo stuff, they know who the like Boy
yeah,
Problems and Ape Up, but
yeah.
like Snowing and Algernon, those are like the bigger ones.
Oh, for sure, dude. But yeah, dude, I just thought that was so random, dude. Like, they're probably so
I
bored
know.
right now, you know?
Yeah, but to answer your question about live gigs, it's very interesting. I've recorded a few songs, like it's like kind of reworking old songs and like trying to, I've written songs on guitar and it's like, let's do this on piano instead, and it's a very different feel to it
Yeah.
when you're trying to do the twinkly stuff on a
Mm-hmm.
completely different instrument.
Yeah.
I pulled it off with one song, but like, pink, black, and orange in the corner stuff, that was mainly a lot of that was written on guitar. So
Yeah.
virtual gigs and like reworking these songs and like turning them into like something kind of new.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting experience.
Yeah, dude, that's really cool. I'm very excited to see your performance. It's gonna be super sick, dude. Have you done one before? Have you done a virtual gig before?
No, not at all. I've someone reached out to me. I don't know if I can actually talk about. Well, someone did reach out to me, and I did record a virtual gig. It's not like me really playing. It's more like I recorded like re-record these songs,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a visualizer kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just really short and simple, and that's all. It hasn't came out yet. So, but besides that, I've never done like a virtual gig or anything like that.
That's awesome, dude.
Completely new to me.
I hear you, dude. I don't play any music, but I hear from a lot of people that I have on the show that it's just kind of like a really interesting experience, especially like the first couple that you do. It's like really like finding out how you're gonna adapt and stuff like that to like, you know,
Yeah,
just like the music scene in general, I guess. So,
it's such a yeah, it's such a weird experience. It's just like being in front of a phone screen
yeah.
and doing that stuff. Like I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah. So what can you tell me about your project Lobster Fight? Give us the big picture. Bring us back to your humble beginnings. Were you involved in any previous projects that led to like what Lobster Fight is now? Like, tell me the lowdown. What is Lobster Fight?
uh, so Lobsterfight is to answer your first question. Lobsterfight is a two-piece, whatever band, whatever label you want to put it. I just say it kind of like just experimental. I don't know. It's just a two-piece band that's mainly influenced by emo, but
Mm-hmm.
it's does different things.
Yeah.
I guess that's the best. Someone on Rate Your Music explained it as like, getting like a smoothie and like putting a bunch of stuff in a smoothie, and it's like it just shouldn't work, but it does.
Yeah.
I don't explain it perfectly, but yeah, Lobster Sprite is just like a two-piece, uh, I guess, emo band from
That's awesome.
Buffalo.
So I guess how did you guys like? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was getting to that. We met. James and I have been friends for like 5 years before we
Mm.
even got into music at all. We met in middle school, and we yeah, it was just very humble. We were good friends, and then the project started. I've always been like making music. I started playing piano when I was 13,
Mm-hmm.
and like 14, 15, 16. I've just been trying to learn how to record music and all that. And before Lobster Fight, I had this kind of side project. I put in quotations because it wasn't really like a side project, but it was mainly just like a place because I recorded a lot of songs,
Yeah.
and so I would dump these songs on a Bandcamp because I wanted to get more storage on this
Mm-hmm.
laptop I have,
Yeah.
and so I would upload it. It's the project's called Yeah Good Luck, and it's
Interesting.
essentially whatever. There's no really any theme. It's just I recorded a bunch of songs, and they're good enough to be put out there,
Yeah.
and yeah,
So
and
it.
that was oh sorry,
Oh no, go ahead.
and
Oh.
that was around 2019, right
Okay.
before Lobster Fight started,
Mm.
and in June of 2019, uh, James and I were having like a jam like session,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked him if he wanted to do a band, and he was like, "Sure." And at first, it was one of those things where it's like, "Oh, we're in a band and we don't do anything,"
Mm-hmm.
and then I just started writing music, and kind of turned into this whole thing we're doing now. So
So it kind of
kind
was
of
just like a hobby turned into, hey, you want to start a band type deal.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. So can people still find that project? What was it called before? The one where you kind of just song dump on Bandcamp?
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, people, it's on there. Someone made a video when the Fantano review came out. Someone made a video, and someone found it. I don't know how they found it. Well,
Really?
it's kind of an exaggeration because the two releases I did are on my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
This Duck is Going to Kill Me, which is where all Lobster's music's hosted. So they found out through there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like an open secret, kind of, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope, dude. I'm gonna have to check that out. I totally had no idea about that. That's really awesome though. So, I guess was DIY at large something you were involved in beforehand? Like, is there like sort of a DIY scene going on in Pueblo, Colorado, or just Colorado in general? Like an emo scene or anything?
No, we do have two bands that kind of fit almost into that emo. One does, the other one
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. But for music scene in Colorado, I'm not. I don't want to be that guy because everyone like says this, but it sucks.
Yeah.
It really does suck.
Yeah.
But we have a few bands that are kind of like in the DIY trying to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And but like as of DIY scene, I'm not really involved with it
Yeah.
until now. But then like there's the pandemic and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess there wasn't really much going on in terms of DIY at all. Like even just garage bands, not even emo and stuff.
uh, there's not a lot of emo, but like there's one band that's managed to like pop up,
Mm-hmm.
and it really shows how like diverse the emo like genre is. Because
Yeah.
while we're like experimental emo like Brave Little Advocates inspired stuff,
Yeah.
they're like we're influenced by like modern baseball and like Remo Drive and
Oh wow.
Title Fight. So it's like yeah, that one band is called Keep Sweet, and they just put out an EP.
Okay, that's Keep Sweet.
Yeah, Keep Sweet.
That's cool. I'll have to check them out as well. So, I guess did you ever gig any of your projects or anything, or was this something like you never did? So, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've never gigged before. There was a few times in church where like I'd sang in front of people, but
Yeah.
it was never like really like a I would actually like play my music in front of people.
Yeah. So, do you plan on like doing live gigs and stuff like when the pandemic's done with Lobster
Yeah,
Fight?
yeah, definitely. I really want to get like a full band behind it.
Yeah.
That's what I really want.
Yeah, so I was gonna
Not
ask
only
how do you want to like adapt your current music to like playing live if you've been thinking about that?
yeah, I've been thinking about that ever since the album, ever since we came out with actual music.
Yeah.
I've I've contacted a few friends, and they were like, "Oh, hey, I just asked them like, want to join my band,
Yeah.
and they were like, yeah, it sounds cool, and then they never got back to me.
Oh, really?
One guy just has yet to like read my message. Like it's been like 3 months and he hasn't read it.
Really? Hey,
Yeah, but
it happens. It happens.
yeah, adapting like music. Right now it's kind of like it's a mix between like backing tracks and just doing like drums and piano and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
playing as loud as we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely like getting other members like guitarists or like bassists or like even another keyboard. I don't know, it's up in the air. That would be awesome. That would be really, really, really great.
Yeah, dude, seriously, that'd be really cool. We got to get you on tour or something, dude. I'm trying to see you come to like California, play some gigs out here.
That would be a dream come true.
So, I guess let's talk about some, like your music, like some of your releases and stuff. So, your latest release is a song on a split called or it's a song on a split with Twin Dog or Twin Films and Dog Motive. What can you tell me about that? Who are these bands? How did you get on the split? Like, what's up with this?
Um, after the Fantano review, things just like bands and everywhere, like artists were like contacting me and they're like, "Hey, uh, I do artwork. Hire me for your next album," and I'm just like, "Okay, I won't, but I'll be
Yeah.
nice about it." And
Yeah.
yeah, and like Twin Films Dog Motif, they kind of just like showed up in my DMs one day and they're like, "Want to do a split?" And I already did one with like another artist who just reached out to me. He like
Mhm.
that person like emailed me and they're like, "Want to do a split?" And I'm like, "Sure." I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah.
So Twin Films and Dog Motive, I almost called Dog Fight, Dog Motif. They just contacted me and they're like, "Want to do a split?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And for a while, I was kind of on the rocks because I had like some really bad art block. I
Yeah.
was just like, "Okay, I need to get the song out." And then eventually I did, and it turned into probably one of my new favorites, I guess.
Yeah, that what's the song called again?
Duck Girl.
Yeah, Duck
It's just
Girl. So, I think I read too, it's very piano based as opposed to what like Pink, Black and Orange in the Corners was, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's if you listen to Pink, Black, and Orange Corn, there's it's two in that song. You can hear it, you can kind of hear it that it's very piano based.
Mhm.
But I think Duck Girl's probably like the definitive lobster fight song. Like if I were to show someone what lobster fight like supposed to sound like,
Yeah.
then like I would show them that song.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's very piano based. It's very like just trying to take like the twinkly sound, but just do it on a completely different instrument, which I think is pretty unique, I guess.
Yeah, that's really cool. So is that something that like you kind of started to do to get over your like writer's block type deal? You were like, what if I did something on piano? Like how did you come up with that concept as opposed to what your other stuff was?
That's been what I've been trying to do ever since the project started. Like
Mm.
if you listen to Yeah Good Luck stuff, there's an album called Demo Talk Demo something Demo, and there's a song where it's very piano based and it has like scream vocals and all that. So like this whole piano emo thing has been something I've been trying to do ever since the project started, and it's just
Mhm.
now it's just like I've actually gotten the hang of it and I can actually do it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like trying to do twinkly stuff on because that's kind of like what Lobster Fight is. It's just piano emo. It's just
Mhm.
like the question: Can you put a Midwest emo riff on a piano rather than a guitar? It's just kind of like answering that question,
Oh,
and I guess it's been answered.
that's actually really cool, dude. That's awesome. I love that like you have like this whole concept as like, can you do this? And then it's like, well, I did it and it's like, yes, I can do it and it works. Like that's super sick.
Yeah.
Um so I guess that kind of like answered my question. I was gonna ask like what's the difference between Pink, Black, and Orange in the Corners and like your new stuff, but that's kind of like what it is. What we were just talking about. So that's really cool. And I think that you released Pink, Black, and Orange in the Corners on Flea Colored tapes, or was that a DIY type thing?
That was a very DIY. That was we released it like at 5 in the morning,
Oh,
or
really?
not 5, like 5 in the afternoon. Like we had an Instagram and we had Twitter and we were just like, album's done,
Yeah.
release it, don't
Yeah.
really tell anyone about it. And it just we put it out and it got a lot of traction for some reason. It was never really intended to get a lot of traction, but it did.
Yeah, so I guess I feel like I've seen your guys' name associated with Flea Collar Tapes. So is that a thing? Are you guys working with them?
Yeah, yeah. Like I think like around October, they just reached out to us and they were like, "Hey, you want to join our label?" And at first I was like kind of hesitant because like, oh, I don't know, I don't really want to be indie. I want to be sick and
Mm-hmm.
indie, but no. I was like, let's
Yeah.
try it out. And so I did,
See what
and
happens.
it's been a very good experience so far.
That's awesome. So what have you guys done with them? Like you guys putting out tapes? Like
Yeah, they put out again when the Fantano review came out, they put out 50 tapes of our album,
yeah,
and that's all they've really done so far. So, yeah.
that's cool. So tell me more about this like Fantano review. Back in December, you got like reviewed by the Melon himself. And I feel like this is like pretty telling of all the buzz you've been getting on like Bandcamp and like the emo like Twitter scene, all that. Like, tell how did how did Fantano find your music? Like, how did this happen? Was there already like a buzz that was going on Bandcamp before he found it, or like, was it just like,
I have no clue. Like, okay, so I've had a few people ask this question, like, because I used to shill on like a few image boards,
yeah,
and they always ask the same question: Did you email Fantano about your album? Did you contact him? And just to clear things up, I've never emailed Fantano,
yeah,
never contact. You know how much he gets that like a day? Like how many people,
for sure, yeah,
you know, asking him to review their bad albums? It's like it just happened. Like I don't know how he found it.
yeah,
It's kind of mind-boggling to me because your arms are my cocoon, Tyler. You could argue that he was like he was getting way bigger than us. So
yeah.
either Fantano didn't know about your arms are my cocoon, or he didn't care. So it's one of the two things. And the fact that he reviewed our album, it's just I don't know. It's weird. It's like I don't know why he did it, but he did.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's cool. So, was there already like I guess like a buzz going on about your album before that? Like, was it getting like well received in like some online scenes or like?
Yeah,
Cause
a
you,
little bit. Some people were like, it was getting like I think around the time it was getting gonna get reviewed, it had like I think 100 something review ratings on Rate Your Music.
okay,
Tyler from Your Arms My Cocoon, like he shouted out. I don't know how you found it either. I don't know how because we didn't like promote it or anything. We just put it
yeah.
out.
Cause I was gonna
Like we
say
uploaded it on Bandcamp.
yeah, cause you like
And
quietly released this thing in August, and then I feel like by December, things were kind of just flowing. You know?
yeah, like we just released it and like him because and he released his thing like only like 2 days later and like a week, maybe 2 weeks afterwards, like in September, he was like, "Yo, it's cool, synth emo. Like if you like Brave Loud, because."
Yeah,
And just more people kind of started gravitating towards it. And more people were like, "Yo, this is good. This is really good." And
yeah,
then someone did so. I think one thing is that someone has proposed two options. So either because I know one person linked the album on a like Fantano did like a tweet like, "What do you listen to?" He has like one of those
mm.
tweets and like everyone just shills their stuff. Someone posted our album
Oh,
through
really?
that. So, but then again, that was like hundreds out of hundreds of different albums.
Yeah,
Another option that someone proposed is that he might be lurking Rate Your Music, and he might have saw that like the hundred something ratings it was getting. You might have like caught on to that. I don't know. It's just a lot of different options and it just kind of happened. It just kind
yeah,
of blew up
yeah.
for some reason.
We're gonna have to
I
do
really don't know why.
We're gonna have to do like a follow up with Fantano. Get Fantano, me, you, and Fantano on TBD, and we're gonna have to ask the hard questions on, yo, Fantano, how did you find Lobster Fight, dude?
That'd be that'd be awesome. That'd be I mean, yeah, because I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know how he found our music because the only promotion we did is like we did like a few shills on Reddit. We were shilling really hard on like
Yeah,
uh
I feel like
you.
Fantano is a little DIY at heart still. I know he does like a lot of like big indie stuff. His that indie core like review type stuff everybody like online does like all the bigger stuff. But have you ever listened to the podcast that he did with Washed Up Emo?
No.
Do you know what Washed Up Emo is?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you should listen to the podcast that he did with the Washed Up Emo guy, or he was on Washed Up Emo, and it's pretty interesting because like he's just talking about like his like DIY like roots, and it's like sometimes it's like weird to think like, oh, this guy that only talks about like big indie acts or like big whatever scene acts, it's like they still have some roots, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
um, anyways, yeah, dude, that's cool. So how did you feel like when that happened? Like what happened for your band after that initial review? Like what went down?
It just blew up.
So
I think
did
we
you
were
just
at
like,
like 50 followers, and then
yeah.
like we just skyrocketed to like 200, 300, 400. Plays were like, I think we got like 20,000 in a day
Oh my God, that's
plays.
crazy.
And before that we were getting like upwards like to 50, 100, like because it was getting traction, but like
Yeah.
no one was expecting, like one of the biggest internet critics review, because like the day before he actually tweeted it out. He tweeted out the album, and that like caused like a big thing. Everyone was like, Lobster Fight's winning,
Yeah.
you're winning."
Yeah.
And like, yeah, he tweeted it out, and it was just like, whoa, sick. Like, but no one was expecting he was actually gonna like do a review of it. So like when he did it, it's everything just, my entire world changed. And it's like, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because in one way I am very appreciative,
Mm-hmm.
because I now, like, I have just like a very like small fan base
Yeah.
of people who like my music and will gravitate towards that and will like listen to it. But the problem is that Pink, Black, and Orange Corners was like never really intended to be like, this big. It was
Yeah.
always meant as an album to like, oh hey, we're an actual band. Here's our actual music, but we're
Yeah.
working on better stuff.
Yeah.
So the fact that this one got really big, it's just like I don't know. It's like, it's cool, but
That's funny. That's funny that you say that because I feel like this has been like your rhetoric towards the music that you've put out recently. Like I just did a quick search for Lobster Fight just to see if you guys had done like anything that I could talk about, And I think I came across your Reddit and you were like some initial posts of like you posting your album when it dropped in like August, and you're like, "Hey, this is my record. I just dropped this," and people were like, "Oh, this is cool," and you're like, "It's all right."
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
all right.
Yeah, it's like you're always just saying like, yeah, it's all right, but we're working on better stuff. Is like I feel like I
Yeah,
see you
yeah,
say that online too, which is funny, dude, because you're just like, yeah, dude, this is cool. Thanks for liking this, but you gotta check out my new stuff. It's sicker, you know?
exactly. And it's just like, yeah, it was just never meant to get this big, because we were working on. I kind of said the weird, like, I said two or three to be transparent. It was two. We were working on like two other albums. Like, the first one we were working on is actually going to turn like a year old
Oh,
very
really?
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because around March when the lockdown started, we were working on like like an album, and it got halfway finished, and we kind of scrapped it, put it in like the drawer to save it for later. And we started working on another one that
Yeah.
was like around like summer.
Uh-huh.
That one got kind of scrapped because Pink, Black, and Orange Corner started like it's like a side project. It's like
Yeah.
a side album, because like, oh, we're working on this better album. But this one is like it's like our side thing that we're gonna release. Just to show we have actual music and we're an actual band. And
Yeah.
then it was just gonna be an EP, but I'm incapable of making EPs, and everything. Every
Yeah.
EP I make has to be an album.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got released, and it's just, I don't know, it blew
Yeah,
up.
I could see how that's almost kind of like pigeonholing because it's like you have this like dedicated fan base now, right? I feel like you have
Yeah,
a small but dedicated fan base that like loves Lobster Fight. Like any like media that you find that is talking about Lobster Fight, it's like everybody loves it. But do you ever just like feel pigeonholed in that yeah, I guess that's like kind of what you were saying. You feel pigeonholed in that they love the pink, black, and orange in the corner sound, but like you have this newer stuff and you're
yeah.
like, yo, like it's gonna be different. This wasn't meant for you guys to be obsessed with. Like,
Exactly, because the pink, black, and orange corners, it's very brave little advocates influence, and
yeah.
people have just said, oh, they're just ripping them off, which is, and
Really? I don't think
it's
so.
yeah, people have been very, very harsh about it on Rate Your Music. They're like, one guy's like, yeah, he's ripping these guys off, and like, oh, you can't really progress the scene if you're just ripping off a band from like 10 years ago. And it's like, I get it. It's like, yeah, it is very similar, and like I was very, very inspired by that band, but like, yeah, it was just never meant to get that big. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's very, so it's just like I released this new song, which I think is, like what it should sound like. It's
Yeah,
like,
like this is my sound. This is what I've always wanted. Like this is
yeah,
what Lobster Fight is gonna be?
and yeah, and this next album is gonna have a lot of that. This next album is probably isn't gonna have any guitar like at all.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like mainly just like piano and like doing twinkly emo stuff on piano.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm just kind of scared that this album is what I'm just gonna be known for.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't know.
So, you mentioned like Brave Little Abacus as being like a huge influence and like emo and stuff. So, did you make this with the intention of like it being emo? Like, how do you like perceive your band yourself, as opposed to what other people are saying?
I've always, when I made it, it was kind of like a whatever kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was very influenced by like a lot of like like merchant ships. Like merchant ships is a pretty big influence. Like anything Jack Senef does
Yeah.
has been a huge influence. But yeah, I was kind of like going like with that it's kind of emo, but it's like it was always with like a it's emo but it's different. It's emo but like it's doing something new because the scene is like with a bunch of Algernon homies trying to Algernon riff their way into
Yeah.
stardom. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna put pianos and like harmonicas and a bunch of other stuff and I'm gonna make it different. So yeah, it was always intended to be emo,
So
but it
was
was always has like twists and turns and like like lyrically it's all like I love this person instead of like I freaking hate this person, I want to break up with them.
yeah.
It's just a lot of twists and turns. So yeah, it's emo I guess, but
So I guess was James in on the emo thing too?
yeah, he's one of the only people who like when I bring up an emo band, he knows what I'm talking about. Like when
That's
I
cool.
bring like when I'm wearing a snowing shirt, he knows what snowing is. Like he doesn't really listen to Midos emo. He likes it, but he knows what I'm talking about with that kind of stuff. But he's really like he's a really big like EDM kind of guy.
Oh,
He likes a
really?
lot of
That's funny. Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
like Dead Mouse and like he's getting really into hyperpop, which I don't like hyperpop, but yeah, he's getting really into
Some
that.
100 gags type
Yeah,
stuff.
100 Gex,
Yeah.
Charlie X, see it or something like that.
Yeah. That's dope, dude. So I like to ask this question to everybody, I guess, that I have is that's like emo. You know what I'm saying? That's like in that fifth wave emo scene. What do you see as like the future of fifth wave emo? Like, do you believe in the fifth wave that everybody's talking about right now?
I don't know. It's strayed so much away from like because I listen to bands like Moss Icon, Indian Summer,
Mm-hmm.
like the classics, and they're like it's like these really gritty and hard, and it's like I'm not trying to do like a like a real real emo. This is the
Real emo only
1980s.
consist of the yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to pull that, but I'm saying like it's kind of strayed so far away from like the source that it's kind of like you can argue that it isn't emo. Like you listen to Lobsterfight and you can argue that's not really emo. It's just really noisy indie rock music.
Yeah.
It's yeah like it's cool I guess to be associated with that scene, but it's like I don't know. It's strayed so much from the original source that you could argue that it's probably not really emo.
I think do you follow that like meme page, that emo meme page, like real emo only consists of
I don't.
okay, well that dude posts a lot about just like emo and like emo lore, whatever. He is starting to coin like that Glass Beach style sound, where it's like I don't know how you feel about Glass Beach, but like just that sort of like I guess like poppy sound that people are calling emo as like post emo almost is what
It
they're
sounds
calling.
cool. It
Yeah.
sounds cool. Yeah, the post emo sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but to answer your question, do I believe in it? It's kind of in the middle. I mean, there's very obvious like emo influence. Like I listen to bands like Home Is Where,
Hmm.
who I guess you can consider fifth wave, and that's yeah, that's emo.
Hmm.
That's emo. Like you just listen to it, and it's like, yeah, that, that's
Yeah.
what it's supposed to sound like.
Hmm.
But like they always do like different things. Like with the harmonicas and stuff, which is all awesome. But then like you listen to bands like Your Arms and My Cocoon, it's like yeah, it's emo, but it's
Yeah.
like wow, it's so different.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this
It's
bedroom,
amazingly different.
yeah,
It's
the
like
bedroom
wow,
pop screamo stuff like shouldn't have worked, but it did. And now that's
yeah,
emo, you know?
exactly. It's such an amazing. It's probably one of the most unique pieces of music I've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. So do you see I guess the fifth wave, or do you see emo as like something that's just going to keep progressing like past what traditional emo was? And do you think it's still going to be emo, or is it just going to kind of get
It's gonna get to a breaking point. It's gonna get. I think we're kind of approaching a breaking point where it's like I don't know if this is emo anymore, guy. I think this
yeah.
may be like like just indie rock or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like it's weird because what was the original question I was answering? I got on this weird tangent.
Do you believe
Uh,
in the fifth wave? I think we were at. I think that's where we left off.
yeah, but like the fifth wave that I think it's yeah, it's just gonna get to a point where it's like, is this really emo anymore? Is it's
Hmm.
like it because we're really straying, like we're really stepping away from the fathers and really like
Yeah.
kind of doing we're like an adult now. We're
Yeah.
like doing like our own things, and it's
Yeah.
like yeah, it's still in our blood, it's still in our stream, and
Do you
it's
think
just
it's
kind of like a completely different beast altogether. I guess
do
I
you
don't know.
think it's like kind of pigeonholing almost to call it emo still? Or do you think that it's still like important to still have that like label somewhere in there?
Yeah, I think it's important to still have like that label because because yeah, there's bands doing it now that are like, doing different. Like I think Rookie Card, in my opinion, personally, Rookie Card's like the definitive post emo band.
Oh, they're so sick.
No, because not only is their music good, but it's like that's what post emo sounds like to
Yeah.
me. It's like it's like synthesizers and it's like you know twinkly guitars and like that. It just sounds like post emo. It's like
Yeah.
they're kind
Yeah.
of like if I were to show someone post emo, I would show them Rookie Card, like
Yeah.
because it's familiar, but it's different at the same time because
Hmm.
they're doing like a bunch of synth stuff, but like sounds like middle emo. But to answer your question from before, I do think emo is gonna have a lot of Rookie Card and Your Arms Mike can both said this, but it's gonna have feature like a lot of non-traditional instruments. Like soon
Yeah.
we're gonna have like an emo band that like uses banjos
Yeah.
uh, instead of twinkly guitars. And I'm kind of an example because
Yeah.
I use piano instead of traditional guitar. So
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly. Yeah. I feel
yeah.
like I know some people have even said that like, Lobster Fight is like kind of one of those definitive this is what the fifth wave is now. How do you feel about that? Do you
Um,
consider yourself a big player or are you kind of just like I'm just doing what I want to do? Like,
I'm doing what I want to do, but it really is really insane that people like the fact because I look at all those, like bands I've been inspired by, like Algernon Snowing, and like they were just kind of doing whatever.
exactly.
Especially
If
like,
you think about it, they were just playing, dude.
yeah, they were
Dude,
just
they
doing whatever. They were, yeah.
they played our local DIY venue in Santa Barbara, like this little garage, my friend's garage. They played my friend's garage, called Bico, and they played a show. It was Algernon Snowing in 1994. Dude, they played the most DIY of DIY venues, and I found a demo of it. My friend Josh was there,
Yeah,
and dude, if you think about it, they weren't legends then. This is like
yeah. They
2010.
weren't.
They weren't
They were just
legends. They were just playing, you
they were
know?
just playing music. Yeah, they were just doing something that kind of wasn't being done before. And it's just like now
Exactly.
it's like the fact that I'm kind of being considered. I don't know if this is like really true. I don't really hear people saying that, but the fact that I possibly maybe be like, oh, one of the main contributors to fifth wave emo. Like I helped create this. The fact that I'm like kind of being considered like that is
Yeah.
it is mind blowing to me because it's like I guess I'm a legend in a way. I don't know. It's weird. It's like I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting. Yeah, we'll see what happens in 10 years when they're just like, yeah, this is the fifth wave. Now we're in like the sixth, but like these were the bands. We'll see what happens. It's interesting to see where this goes and like where it's gonna be
Yeah,
taken
someone's
and
gonna be
like
inspired by Lobsterfight. Someone like in
exactly,
10 years is
exactly.
gonna be
Some
like,
like some kid is gonna find this and like say they're they find it now and then like maybe 10 years from now they're gonna start a band and they're gonna be like, yeah, Lobster Fight inspired me to start making music. Like we'll just see like what comes of that. But yeah, that's really interesting. So, anyways, we got some fan questions. Are you ready for this?
I am. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. We have quite a bit. Yeah, a
Oh,
lot.
that's fine. Yeah,
What was that?
that's fine. I'm here all day. I can. I don't
Let,
know. I'm having so much fun right now.
let's do it, dude. Let's do this. So this one says, "What was the recording process for Pink, Black, and Orange in the Corners?"
Um, recording process was like it's very my recording process is very it's kind of odd. I mean, most people might like relate to it, but basically, I find like a chord progression and like a
Yeah.
riff that I
Mhm.
like, and essentially the recording process is that I pick an instrument to play it on, whether it be guitar or piano, and play the entire song, and everything just follows that.
Mhm.
So that's why, like, when you're listening, it's kind of messy because like there's not really a tempo. It's just like the drums are following the piano.
Yeah. That's sick.
And the recording, the recording process is just I find a chord progression or like a riff that I like, and I just kind of mess around with it until I find like it'll usually be like just the hook of the song,
Mm-hmm.
and like I'll just play around with it until like like it feels finished, like it feels like a song, and then
So
I'll record the piano or the guitar or whatever the main instrument, and I'll just start adding layering instruments, second piano, third piano, whatever, synths, piano, drums, bass, just start layering stuff. And that's essentially how a lobster fight song is.
so how long does that take you to come up with a song usually on average, if you can even put a number on that?
Like a month. Like for songs like on splits, it can take me up to like a month or even like 2 weeks. Like the restaurant, that song was written in like a week, I think.
Oh,
Week or two
really?
weeks. Yeah. And Duck Girl, that was also written in like 2 weeks. But I was like I forgot. I even forgot what I was having like trouble with. I think it was like I was having like really bad like kind of anxiety about like is this really emo? Like it doesn't.
Mm.
I don't know. It was just like kind of like there's no guitar in it. There is no like uh, it just sounds different. And only that too, I was having like computer problems, and it was just making it really hard to record.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting that you asked yourself, is this emo, when you're recording that song.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's really interesting because one of my friends in another band posted something that was basically saying, like an artist, what was it? Something about like their own like criticisms is like, you have to not be afraid to like do something new. You know what I'm saying? Because you're either gonna get
yeah,
criticized or people are gonna love it. So yeah, that's
yeah.
interesting.
That's what I did. Is that I did something new, and it blew up.
Yeah, exactly. So were you ever afraid when you just like try something new in the record when you're like in the middle of a recording process and you're kind of in like a writer's block? Were you afraid to just take that step to be like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna just do it.
yeah. Because I was listening, because I was like, there's a lot of like gatekeeping is like a thing where it's like it's like yeah, it sucks, but it's like you kind of need to gatekeep
Mm-hmm.
in my personal opinion, because it's like if you don't gatekeep, then like anything that's sad is emo.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, so like, and I was just listening back to that song, like Duck Girl, and I was like, can this be emo? Like, it doesn't have guitar in it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it doesn't have guitar at all. It's just pianos, and I'm just asking myself, like, can this work? Can
Mm-hmm.
you know you write a twinkly riff on piano? Can that be emo? And yeah, and it just kind of I feel it kind of gives you like a little anxiety. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
I hope people like this, because I released it and it's just like there's that really end part where it's like super lo-fi, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like I had to record on my phone because my
Oh, really?
computer was
Oh, that's
so yeah
yeah,
so broken. It was getting so hard to
yeah,
record, and like I recorded the piano part, and like I had like a drum. It was like all on one keyboard, so it was super lo-fi. And I'm just like, because not only was I asking like, oh, could this be more, I was also asking like, oh, hey, is anyone just gonna like the song in
yeah.
general? Because I've had a few complaints where it's like some songs don't feel finished, some songs feel a little underdeveloped, and it's like because when I was writing that I was like, well, this feels finished to me.
Yeah.
This feels done. This feels like a song.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
hold on. Let's get. We'll move on to the next. Oh, wait. So I was gonna say, is recording on your phone something you do often, or is that just like a
No.
no? Was that just like a one-off thing? My computer wasn't working, so you just made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
That's well, yes and no. I'll get to it in a second, but we're lo-fi. Yeah, we're very lo-fi, but we don't go there. We don't we don't
Yeah,
record full songs on our phone. But I have a microphone, we have interface, we have the stuff to do it.
yeah.
But I do guerrilla recording, basically where I record like piano, like actually traditionally, like whether it be mic'd up or like direct in.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have like a guerrilla, like I'll just have my phone, and like it'll capture the piano in the actual recorded piano and the phone recorded piano. They'll be
Mm,
mixed together.
yeah,
So yeah,
that's cool. So like, what DAWs do you use? Your DAW? Like, what kind of stuff do you use for your process?
some people don't believe me, but there's this really old program that I use called Sonic Foundry Acid Pro 4.0.
Yeah,
It's so old, you can just look it up and download it.
that's sick. So why'd you decide to go with that? With something so old?
Uh, bec- because the computer I have, which is this computer, my mom, this computer my mom let me use.
Oh,
for the longest time.
that's pretty
And
old
yeah,
looking. That thing's thick.
she's actually a cancer survivor, so she has all these.
Oh, that's it. That's awesome. And congrats to her. Tell her congrats for me.
Yeah. But I remember I had a guy at school, like this teacher who was like really into music. I was like, hey, I want to record stuff, put stuff on it, and
Yeah,
he was like, okay, and he put that DAW on there, and I just never learned how to use another DAW. I just like that. This one's the one. It's so
that's
easy to
sick,
use.
dude.
It's
I
so
love
easy to
that.
record. So easy to edit. So unbelievably easy. Like I've used like Reaper. Like I use Reaper too. I
Yeah,
use Sonic Foundry S Pro 4.0. I also use Reaper. That's like mainly for mixing and mastering. But like Reaper, it's like I can use it, but it just doesn't feel the same with like Sonic Foundry and all that. It's just like it's such a simple program. It's so easy to use.
dude.
It's like Audacity. If Audacity was like
Yeah,
good,
yeah, right. I was just gonna say that. Um, do you think you'll ever make the switch to like recording on like Ableton or something?
oh hell no, no, probably not. No,
I
maybe
feel.
maybe. I mean, uh, if I ever get like a computer that'll like handle that, if I ever
Yeah.
get like a computer that handle Ableton, maybe yeah. But I don't know, like programs like that, I think are just kind of too. I mean, I could sit down and learn it, but I'll probably always be using that program.
Hey, what works works, right?
Exactly
If
what
if
works
it if
works.
it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly, yeah.
That's sick. So, this one was asked a couple times actually. What's your biggest inspiration? The
Um,
first person to ask this question, by the way, was Caleb from Ricky Card slash Hey I Love You slash his other band. But yeah, he was the first one to ask it, and a few people asked after that.
there's a big art. There's a bunch of artists that inspire me. There's only like I think like a few select albums that have like influenced like the way I've like write music.
Mm-hmm.
I can list those albums, but like I guess to give you a short answer, just kind of just like a little too much. For me, I was inspired by artists, but like the one thing that really inspired me the most was just the idea of just doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
Just the idea of like doing something different in a genre of music that I love personally.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what inspired me the most. That's what really made me want to make the music I made because I was inspired by the thought of, hey, what if you? I keep bringing this up all the time. It's like, hey, what if you put Midwestino on a piano?
Yeah.
And that just like kind of changed everything. I was just like, because I've been playing piano since I was 13. That's like the instrument for me. Like
Yeah.
I play guitar, but like I'm always like a piano guy. So just like the thought of just doing something different in a
Mm-hmm.
genre of music I love, what is that was like my biggest inspiration.
That's honestly really cool. I love that. If you had to choose one artist, I guess, who would you choose as a one artist that would go as your biggest inspo?
That's I don't think I can do that.
That's funny.
I can do a top five. Can I do top five like
Throw
top
a
five
top
albums?
five. Do it. Just off the top of your head. Just
Okay.
blast them off right now.
In Bird's Eye, Speak Easy EP. That's look them up on YouTube. Don't look them up on Google because if you look them on Google, you won't find anything. They're one of the very few forgotten uh, MySpace emo bands.
Oh,
They're
that's
great.
actually really cool. I'll have to look that up.
And Bird's Eye, it's fantastic. It's like an eight to me. It's great. So yeah, in Bird's Eye, Speak Easy EP. You've Been Brainwashed Too by New Radicals. If you take songwriting like seriously as like an art form, it's like a must listen album because
Yeah.
it's such like the songwriting on that album is just so masterful. Like you've heard the song, you only get what you give, right?
I
Like
honestly
don't
don't
yeah,
know.
don't. No, you haven't heard that song. It was kind of big. I don't know, but
I,
you've been brainwashed too by New Radicals. That's a must listen.
yeah.
Uh, this is a very basic answer, but just got back from the discomfort. That's like an album that completely changed the way I wrote music too.
Who is that by?
Just got back from discomfort. That's Brave Abacus.
Oh, okay, dude.
That's
Yeah.
the one everyone knows. That's why I said the very basic answer. So that's
Okay.
the one everyone knows.
Yeah. I've
Um,
personally never taken a deep dive into Brave Little Abacus for some reason. I just never have. But I know everybody loves them. It's not. Yeah. I need to get into them personally. It's on my bucket list of bands that I'm like, okay, one day I'm gonna go into a deep dive, but I just haven't yet. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
I guess the third one is just like Parrot Flies by Algernon Cadwallader.
Oh hell
That's
yeah, yeah,
pretty.
classic.
Um, and I can do whatever I wanted if I wanted. It's snowing. I love that album.
Hey, classic. Do you like Street Smart Cyclist?
This is kind of maybe a little controversial, but I'm not that big on Street Smart.
Oh,
I'm more of a
really?
snow. I don't know. I just like snowing better.
Oh,
Street
really? I
Smart's
I always
yeah.
loved Street Smart Cyclist. I felt like it was just so much rawer and almost more punk a little bit.
Yeah. You can hear it. It's way more punk. It's
It's
like
way
it
more punk.
borders on the punk sound.
It's
But
honestly,
yeah, I've
yeah,
always been a snowing guy, not like a Street Smart guy.
that's awesome.
But that's just the top five. There's many other artists I could
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
throw in there. That's just like yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we could go into a whole other interview of just artists that we love. Probably.
Yeah.
We could literally probably just spend an hour just talking about bands that we love, you know?
Yeah.
Um, anyways, top five. That's the Lobster Fight top five inspirations. Okay, here's another one. Uh, you know what? Let's save that one for the end. What's the favorite song off the EP?
What GP? Did they specify what GP?
They didn't specify, but I would assume it's probably Pink, Black, and Orange in the Corners.
Um, I don't really have a favorite. If I'm being completely honest, I kind of hate every song off that album. But
Yeah,
if I had to
back
pick
to our
one,
original conversation.
yeah, if
Yeah.
I had to pick just one, the one I was, it's not even a favorite, but it's just the one I was proud of the most. Like when I finished it, I was like, yeah, this is probably the one people are gonna like a lot. And that's Five. That was the one I really enjoyed making. It's probably my favorite.
Yeah,
Um, Second is probably Frog. Seem to be the ones everyone likes. Five and Frog. That's just the ones everyone seems to gravitate towards
the
too.
hits. Yeah,
That's James' favorite. James' favorite is Frog. He loves that song.
I love Frog too. I think that one's really good. It's just a good 12-minute banger, you know.
Well, 4 minutes and like 7 minutes of just
Or yeah,
ambience.
yeah. Anyways, so okay, let's go into the next one. Are you ready for it?
I am, yeah.
Okay, this one I feel like we've kind of already talked about a good amount. Did you go out of your way to find your sound, or did it just fall into place?
Um, I went out of my way to kind of find it. Yeah, like
Yeah, I feel like we've talked
volcano
about.
thing.
Yeah,
It was kind of like a both like of thing, like where like I knew what I wanted to do, but like I didn't know how I really wanted to do it.
yeah.
So like, so yes and no. So yeah, like I knew what I wanted to do, so I went looking for it, but the actual sound, just kind of fall into me. Like
Mm-hmm.
one day I was just able to, like do the do the all that twinkly stuff. So yeah, it's kind of like a both.
That's dope. So, can you play us another riff? That was sick.
I was just playing the riff. I kind of forgot to play it. Like just that riff to Doug Grohl. Yeah.
That was sick, dude. Hell yeah. So, here's another one. Who are some of who are some of your favorites in the local scene and why?
Um,
I think you only said there's like four, right? Something like that.
or yeah, I don't listen to much like of the post-emo scene. If I'm being completely honest. I
Yeah.
don't like no disrespect, no shade. I don't know, I just don't listen to much of the scene.
Yeah.
The only ones to really like, like kind of blowing me away who's like music I checked out, I was like, oh, that's actually really good. Tyler from Your Arms in My Cocoon,
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Card, Home Is Where. I haven't listened to a new album, but I listened to that one EP they did, and I think it's like that one song they made, it's like Venison.
Yeah.
It's like that the harmonica, it's such like a genius touch to it. Yeah. Oh, you got a tape?
Just picked it up, dude. Just got it in the mail yesterday. I'm very excited. Haven't
Oh,
haven't
that's
listened to it
awesome.
yet. Been waiting to throw into the tape player. So,
Yeah, but
anyways.
like Your Arms My Cocoon, not I like I feel like we kind of like suck up to each other a little bit, but he really did make one of the most unique pieces of music I've heard in a long time, and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
if he made it like an album like we did, I'm pretty sure he would have gotten a review because
Oh,
he's gotten so much attention and he deserves it because just the EP's just great.
dude,
And
Tyler's
Ricky
just
Connor,
gonna when live gigs and stuff come back, dude. This emo scene is gonna be so insane. Just wait for live gigs to come back, dude. They're gonna be getting They're gonna be blowing up, getting reviews, dude. They're gonna be finding new audiences all over the place. It's gonna be wild.
Yeah,
You
I
know what
mean
I'm
Rookie
saying?
Card. I, I'm anticipating what they put out. Ismay, I listened to that one. That was a
It
pretty
was honestly
unique.
sick,
It
dude.
was
I
pretty.
liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, those what is it, three? Yeah, those three. Those ones have like my musical trust. Like
Yeah.
whatever they put out, I'll like. I know, like, or like even if I won't love, I'll know I like it.
Hmm.
But another one that I kind of like is the Plague Skater. Plague Skater's alright.
Oh, Plague Skater's pretty cool. Yeah, I dig them.
Plague Skater's alright. Another one. Uh, there's this one band. I think it's called Tooth Cemetery. That our label. His name's Jack. He runs. I haven't listened to any of really the songs, but they have one song. And it's like their most streamed one on Spotify. That one is admittedly pretty catchy. I like that one.
I'll have to check them out. I don't think I've ever heard them before. They're called
Yeah,
Tooth Cemetery. You said?
yeah, Tooth Cemetery.
Hmm. Interesting.
Oh, I did forget. Keep Sweet. Yeah, whatever Keep Sweet. You know, the local band that is in my area. We live like me and the lead singer live like surprisingly close to each other. It's weird, but yeah, and he bought a tape for me. Yeah, he bought a
Oh,
tape
really?
and
That's sick.
put us on a store, and he was like, "Thank you." I was like, "Oh yeah," but they just put it on EP, and I think they're working on like an album, so it's like, yeah, whatever they put out.
That's
It'll
awesome.
be,
So there it is, your favorites from the local scene. So this here's another one. Have you guys listened to Neutral Milk Hotel yet?
yeah, keep getting that. Yeah, surprisingly enough, when I was, when I chilled that album on Mew, people were like quick to be like, "Oh, Neutral Milk Hotel ripoff." It's just like they were quick to
Really?
that one.
What?
Yeah, they were very quick to that one.
Seriously? That's
Yeah,
insane to
instead of
me.
like I was expecting a BLA one, but like no, they were very quick on. A few people were very quick, like, "Oh, Neutral Milk Hotel ripoff." So it's like I've never listened to Neutral Milk
What?
Hotel.
Really? That's so
Yeah,
interesting.
I've never listened to them, so it's like I've got to listen to them and figure out what everyone's talking about because yeah, I know who they are, but I
Yeah,
just never listened to them.
I love that, dude. That kind of reminds me of the band that I had play on the show last week. They're called Eye Candy. They're a local band around here, and they sound very much like, I don't know if you're into this type of music, but like unwound, what's it called, lowercase stuff like that. That style of like post-hardcore rock. And I was like, yeah, you guys remind me a lot. And they're like, we don't listen to them. We kind of just made this music.
Yeah,
So that
and it's
reminds
just
me of
like
that.
yeah, it's just weird. I've never listened to Chipotle Hotel, so I got that's kind of like on my back burner. Like I've got to listen. I have the album like in my I download all my music. I don't stream anything, but like I have it downloaded. It's like it's just kind of sitting there waiting for me to you know put on the headphones and experience it for the first time.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, okay, here's another one. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Uh, Trying to be invisible. That'd be sick.
Why?
I don't know, just to go around and kind of be a creeper, like go around like places like no one knows where you are or anything. You just invisible.
Dude, I feel like the real deal breaker for me, you know, I would for sure be down to have this as a one superpower, being invisible, if you could walk through things. Like when in like Super Mario 64, like when you get the invisible hat and you can like walk through certain surfaces.
Yeah,
Um,
you hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, I'd be invisible and be able to walk through things. Yeah, that'd be.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. If you could just like, you know, walk through a permeable surface, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll be invisible. That's dope. There's some perks to this, you know? That's awesome. So, okay, so all right, now on to the next one. Will your music come to streaming services anytime soon?
Um, for a long time, I was really against it. I still am, but I just didn't promote it or anything. But it's on Spotify. It's on
Oh,
like I put it on there like the other day, and it's just finally uploaded. There's like already like I think 35 monthly listeners or something like that
oh,
already.
really? I feel like people are just looking for it every day. Lobster fight into Spotify.
Yeah, I just haven't promoted it because I just don't like Spotify at all. I really don't. And
Hey,
for just the longest time, I was just really against doing it.
there's a
But I
big
kind
there's a big push to I don't know if I've seen this as much in like the DIY like emo or like rock scene, but I know especially in like the more experimental like ambient scenes that I like, there's a big push to purchasing music over streaming, in that these people are like, okay, I will put my music on streaming services, but also you should be paying for your art. Like, if you think about it, like people take music as like, what's it called? Like they take it for granted, and that a lot of people feel like music is just something that they should have, you know? But at the same time, they'll go out of their way to buy someone's embroidery, or they'll buy a painting for their house or something like
Yeah,
that. But music is just one of those things where it's like, oh, like I only listen to this in my car, so I shouldn't have to like pay for this type deal. But like music
exactly,
is a
exactly.
commodity, and that like these artists put work into it, and a lot of people, this is how they make a living, or
Yeah,
try it, like want to make. Yeah. So like, but
yeah,
long
and like
story.
no one really like bought like sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, yeah, but like, yeah, no one really like buys my like people do buy my music, but it's like I mainly make my income off like cassettes. Like I do like hand drawn cassettes.
Yeah.
That's what people buy, and it's just like but like my reasoning for not putting on Spotify like is kind of outside the realm. Like I don't really care if people buy it. I release it for free anyways, do like
Mm,
media filings, like MP3. So like if people don't buy it, I don't really care about that. But it's just like I don't know, Spotify. There really is not. There's no benefit to having, to me, in my opinion, there's no benefit in having a Spotify at all because it's like you get paid nothing,
yeah.
literally not, almost nothing,
Hmm.
and it's just really only benefit like for the listener. But
Yeah.
it's just like we'll already have it. It's not like I'm hiding it. You just
Hmm.
have to go find it and listen to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I gave in, and I just haven't really promoted it or anything. But it's on
Hey,
streaming, so
we'll we'll
everyone's
just
happy, I guess.
we'll just say it here. Hey, pay what you want on Bandcamp. You can download it for free. There's no need for Spotify. Don't pay the big corporation. Either get it for free or just pay them directly. Get a tape or something. You know what I'm saying? I think you posted yesterday. You have some tapes left or something.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, two plugs. I'm gonna just do real quick. We have tapes for Twin Dog Fight. DM me if you want one, and we have shirts at brokencamerarecords.limitedrun.com.
Hell yeah.
I think they're almost out, but yeah, it supports me. I'm
Support.
actually shopping around to get this new album, like mixed professionally. So like getting a little money to pay the people who are doing that would be nice.
Hey,
But
so
yeah,
pay out the money, shell out the cash, help Lobsterfight keep making some sick piano riffs. There it is.
yeah.
So here's another one. When will your music come to vinyl, and how can we support the production of it?
Uh, I
You
I
guys,
hate vinyl.
you say,
No,
wait, what'd you say?
I said I hate vinyl.
Wink, wink.
Uh, I can't say anything about it yet, but keep your tabs on it. So we're probably gonna have to brush. Yeah, I can't really say anything about it now, but just keep your like. I like doing the tapes, doing the hand drawn cassettes, even though I have a really big burnout because I have to like come up with a unique drawing for each one. I do want to branch out to like CDs and vinyl.
Hmm.
That'd be having like a physical vinyl of like pink, black, and orange corner. That'd be sick.
That'd be sick. That'd
Or
be
like a
so
seven
cool.
inch of Twin Dog Fight. That'd be sick.
That'd be so tight. Um, it's funny. It's like kind of cool that people are like, how can we support the production of this? That's some like Jerome's Dream stuff. You know that band Jerome's Dream,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, that.
the screamo band.
Yeah,
They
I know who they are. They're all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to their what's it called, washed up emo episode, and they were just talking about how when they made their comeback, dude, they made their like whole record was crowdsourced because they were like, we want to be DIY when we come back. We don't want to have to go through a label. We want to do this like we did in the '90s, you know. And so they just completely crowdsourced a freaking record. Isn't that insane? Like they made a ton
Yeah,
of money from fans that were just like, we want you to have a record. And so
yeah,
everybody
and
that
I've been thinking about that too, and I was really thinking like crowdsource, like get a Kickstarter, get like
yeah.
because I do want vinyl things to happen. Like I'm not one thing I do really want this music is that I want it to be like available on like stuff because like there's so many emo bands who like made music and they just never put it on anything. But like
Hmm.
with me, like I want it to be like I want to be like, just available on like a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff, I guess. And like vinyl, like CD, like especially vinyl. It's so expensive to make, but
Hmm.
yeah, I do have plans for it, and it's something I do want to actually do.
Hell yeah, dude. We're looking forward to it. So, okay, here, okay. Why are the lobsters fighting?
I don't, oh my god, uh, I don't know how to answer this question because it's like I don't know why are they fighting?
Yeah,
I always try to come up with like a joke answer. Like I know someone asked it, and I was like, well, the other lobster said Blink 182 sucks, and so they started fighting. It's just like
that's
I
funny.
don't know. I always try and come up with like a joke answer, but yeah, I don't know why. They're just fighting because they hate each other. I don't know.
How'd you come up with the name?
That's very interesting. I wish I had a meaning. I really do, because I'm gonna say what like how I came up with it. It's gonna seem like really like oh like everyone because you hear the name Lobster Fight, and from what I've heard, people think that name's like really cool,
Yeah.
and people are kind of like, ooh, well, like did you actually see a lobster fight with another like? But reality, I was in my junior year of high school. It's on the list here.
Yeah.
I was in my criminology class. I had a criminology class, and
Hmm.
I just came up with it. It really did
It
just
just
come up
clicked. You
like
just
came
said
to
you
me.
just thought of it.
Yeah, I just literally just thought of it. I was kind of slacking off. Admittedly, I was on my phone. I was writing lyrics because I was actually working on a solo album around
Yeah.
that time too. This was like way before even like uh we started the band or anything. I was just working on like a solo album, and I just came up with the name like Lobster Fight. It just sounded cool. It sounded like punk,
Yeah.
and it stuck. And I just used it.
That's awesome. Okay, so we have two more. Who does all of your art? That's the first
I
one.
do.
So you do it all yourself?
Yes. I draw. I've been drawing way longer than I've been doing music. I've been drawing ever since I was like a kid. So yeah, I do all the art. So if you get a hand drawn cassette, those are my fingers. I drew
Mm,
that.
I love that. Hold on. We got
And
this,
even the
bud.
art, like the one you got, I drew that. It's just
Heck yeah.
horribly printed because the guy who printed it, I don't know. I just don't
I
like
saw that you
him.
like filled in the edges or something like that, right?
Yeah, because the guy who printed it, he did this like weird thing. It's literally the size of it. It's like I've got it printed before, and it's
Yeah.
the size of the J card. So like I don't know what he did, but
Hmm.
when he printed it, it's like oh I couldn't figure it out. So here's just whiteboard, and like it looks
Yeah.
awful, but like he's doing this out of the kind of his heart. So I'll let it slide.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
that cover though, I drew that. I do all the art.
That's sick. So, okay, last one. What's the future of Lobster Fight?
Uh, well, I don't know.
That's a good answer.
I don't know.
I love that
I can,
answer.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's something that's very youthful. It's something that I debate if I want to be doing it in my 20s.
Hmm.
I just turned 18 like a few days ago. Well,
Yeah.
not a few days, like a few weeks ago. So it's just like it's kind of like I don't know. It's like if it ends, it ends. If it keeps going, then it
Hmm.
keeps going. It's just yeah, I don't really know. I could tell like about like future plans. Like we have like a I'm working on a new album, but like as like the future of the music and the band and all that, it's whatever. I don't know.
We'll see what
Just
happens. We'll see what happens,
see
dude.
what happens. You know?
I feel like stuff things are always the best when you don't exactly know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying?
I do
You
have like an album like sorry,
oh no, you're good. Go ahead.
I do have like album like plans. Like I kind of have like the discography kind of planned out in a
Yeah.
way. Like I know like after this album comes out, I know what I'm releasing next
Hmm.
after it. So
Hey,
it's just like
well, it's good to have like what's it called? A idea of what you're gonna be doing, but you never know like what's actually gonna happen, which I think is the best, you know? So
yeah.
that's awesome. So how can people keep up? Okay, so we're done with the fan questions. So thanks for all the fans for you know, asking all those. I really love that. This is probably one of my favorite portions of the interviews that I started doing that. So I really encourage you guys if you're listening now and you haven't submitted a fan question, I ask like, you know, a day or two before the interview. So you can find that on my social medias at TBD Presents on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But anyways, so where can people keep up with your projects? And do you have any last remarks you want to put into the airwaves and archives before we finish up here?
You can keep up with us at Instagram and Twitter. Our Instagram is just Lobsterfight at Lobsterfight. Our Twitter is at Lobsterfight1 because someone took Lobsterfight. So yeah.
Oh, come
Oof.
on, man. Why they
But
do that? That's not cool.
yeah. I don't really tweet. Well, I do tweet, but like I don't really know what to tweet. So like a lot of time it's just kind of like weird jokes. Like
Yeah,
I made one about like party rocking, and it was like in this like weird like medieval font, and I thought it was fun.
that's dope.
But yeah, you can keep up with us at Instagram, Twitter. No Facebook. If you see us on Facebook, that's not us. I made one, but I deleted it because I just couldn't figure that out.
Facebook, that's so funny. I can't really figure out Facebook either. I also have a hard time with Twitter, but you know.
I mean, I have a personal Facebook, but don't friend me on my personal. If you friend me on my personal, I will not accept it.
That's so funny.
Sorry.
That's so
Or my
funny.
personal. If you try and follow me on either, I will not allow it. But yeah, Instagram, Twitter. We have shirts. Go get one. Broken Camera Records.limitedrun.com. Go get one. It's a drawing I made of James's face. So
Oh, that's sick. So
yeah.
there it is. Shout out, follow Lobster Fight, not the personals. Don't follow On Hill's personals. There it is, but follow their the Lobster Fight Twitter and Instagram, and buy some merch, Broken Camera Records, and I think he has a couple tapes left, right?
I have, yeah, I think I have like around 15 left.
There it
10
is.
left.
So,
So if
uh,
you're interested, yeah.
yeah, if you're interested, check that out. So before we go, I actually have one more question on Hill.
What is the bad thing?
Hey, dude, you're not supposed to know what it is.
Well, I've listened to both. You
Yeah,
know, yeah.
yeah, that's okay.
I,
That's okay.
I'm ready for it though. Yeah.
Yeah, you know it. Okay, so you're ready?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, you're prepared because you already know what it is, right?
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
hope that you're ultra prepared and that you've thought about it.
And it's gonna be mouth first because I want it to. Actually, I actually didn't think about. I didn't think
let me
that one
let
out.
me let me ask the question. So if there's anybody new, they know it. So if you're new to the show, this is the question that goes down at the end. So if a rat is going to jump into your mouth, do you want this rat to jump into your mouth head first or butt first, and why?
Uh, Head first, so it can because its head's like kind of small, so like
Yeah,
it'll like, jump in it first, and I'll be like, and then it'll fall out.
that's dope. So you'll immediately just throw it up.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no, and I like that because you're not hurting the rat. You're just like, hey, get out of there. You know,
Yeah, like don't go in my mouth,
you don't need to
weirdo.
be in there, man. You can go like crawl around in a subway or something.
In a subway bathroom or something.
Yeah, you can go hang out in a subway bathroom. You don't need to be in my mouth.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So I guess that brings us to the end on Hell. That's all we have for today. So thanks for tuning into TBD on KCSB FM 91.9 every Sunday 4 to 6 p.m. and NetNet Radio every Saturday 8 p.m. This is On Hell from Lobster Fight out of Pueblo, Colorado. Thanks again, On Hell. I had a lot of fun having you on the show.
I had a great time. Thank you.